Okay, this is just a panel layout setup to give you another idea of where I'm coming at with this. So this would be the non-digital one, where people would be running on the IR head movement on a nice big TV, and they don't need any digitized because they can look down. And this here would be like our minimum setup. It will turn out to be 16, 24 inches or so long and 8 inches high. As you can see, it's a half decent size. Switches will be fairly reasonable that you can knock around with them and that. And this one, like I said, is not digitized. It'll just be sliders, flip switches. That one's upside down, of course. The knob will run on the little knobbies. Flight control input. These are just a bunch of auxiliary switches that we can set them to whatever they want to set them. And this we still work out with the autopilot. So that pretty much is everything. After that, if they want to buy anything extra, they can get a light setup, which will be, let's put these in some type of order so I can make them this shape. So you would want a warning light setup. And if you really wanted to go nice, then you would want a proper radio stack for yourself. An autopilot. So as you can see, you can sort of move these around. I'm going to make some of them in different shapes. And this is just a whole auxiliary light panel that we're probably going to do as well. This panel really only replaces like some of the light switches and whatever, but these will have proper LEDs and everything else in them. Eventually you would, because we're replacing everything else, you would get rid of this one because it doesn't need to have anything. And then you would put the autopilot in here. You have your lights, and that would be a full radio stack. So this is pretty much the digital end of what we would be building. Would have 1, 2, 3, 6 panels, which would give you double radio stack, 12 lights, one set of engines, and then if you wanted to go with a double engine system, you're going to end up with another one of these. If you want to go with the double radio stack, you would end up with this. If you wanted a bigger light system because you got a double engine, we would actually just start doing 2 of these. Like 2 of these would be number 1 light panel, and then underneath it number 2 light panel. And same with the radio. We're going to make just the one radio and then sell them to them. So you would have a double radio and a double stack. And I think it's going to actually start to look pretty decent as a setup. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple of things here while I'm doing this too. But this is where I'm shooting at, is this setup. Now, out of this setup for me, when it's all finally done, this will be a real panel that can be sold as an individual, done in grey for the planes and that. And so will the radio stack. Like, these panels are pretty much going to be the same after that. We're just making them in grey. Like, pretty much all the technology is done on them. The rocker switches in that, you sent me the thing over the weekend. We do want the big ones. We're going to go with the big ones on these, just for the hell of it. The landing gear, I'm going to use that guitar thing I told you. And I was looking at them 6-inch throw switches that you showed me with the knob on them. It would be absolutely fabulous if we could figure out some way of getting them that are either got a slider connected to them, or we could take out the switch and use the mechanism itself. For a throttle control. And another question I wanted to ask you, can you use a stepper motor? Can you push a stepper motor and have it read while you're turning it, and then have it move itself as well? I know that sounds weird, but on the autopilots, they actually, on the big planes, the throttles move up and down with the engine speed on their own. Alrighty, that should be enough to keep you going for the next little bit. Alrighty, talk to you soon. Bye.